Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Ask Matt Lloyd. So again, we're still here in Bali at the Diamond Mastermind, and in today's episode, I've got a really great question from L'Oreal. So what's the question?
The question is, Matt, if you're new to this business and you've come in from a different career, a completely different career path, and you have no technical skills in internet marketing, what's the fastest or quickest way to acquire those skills?
Okay, so if you're getting started with Mob or any online business, and this is completely different to anything you've ever done before, it's all new, and you don't know how everything fits together technically, where should you start?
Right.
Okay, so first of all, I will say that I can relate. I can very much relate. I got started in 2008. People think because I was a young guy when I started, I was 21 or 22, that I was naturally good at computers, and nothing could be further from the truth. I am not naturally good at computers at all. Just the other day I found out you can have Wi-Fi on your own phone in any country by hooking up to the local Wi-Fi. People couldn't believe I didn't know that, but after 6-7 years I still didn't know that. So I wasn't naturally, I didn't have an aptitude for picking up technical knowledge. I found it very challenging in the beginning. So I had that same problem. I thought, I used to see all of these people doing well, or hear about them, all of this money they were making. Then I would look at their websites and I would think, I don't even know where to begin. You know, how do I go about putting that together, and am I going to be able to do this? Am I going to be able to be successful and actually make money in this business with my limitations, with the technical, lack of technical understanding?
Right.
So what I actually did, and this is what I recommend a lot of people do if they're challenged with that, I went and I found someone to sit down with me side by side and just teach me basic things. Okay, so what I did, this was early 2009. By that stage, I had put $40,000 Australian into the company that I was with. 40,000, that was all the money I had, basically. It represented a lot, years and years and years of saving. So I had all this money in this business. I desperately wanted it to work, but I didn't know how to build websites. And I knew I had to go and do things like that eventually, because I saw all the top earners, all these successful internet marketers, they were all doing that, right? So if you want to get the results of someone else who's getting great results, you mimic what they do, you do what they do. So I thought, well, I need to build websites. So I was still at university, okay? I was working on the business full time and skipping most of my classes, but I went back down to the university and I put a sign up on the billboard, and the sign said something like, I'm looking for a person studying computer science who will sit down with me and teach me how to put up a website, and I will pay you $15 an hour. I didn't have a lot of money left over back then, so that part scared me a little bit. That was the first time I'd ever had my first real employee. So I get this response from this young guy from Iran. Okay, he's there in Australia studying, and he's doing computer science. And twice a week he would come to my house, this is in Perth, Australia, for between 2 to 3 hours. I wanted him for a lot more, but I just couldn't afford it. Okay, so I'd pay him $30 or $45 a day, twice a week. We'd go to my bedroom, because that was my office back then. I didn't even have chairs. We had to sit on my bed. It was such a small room with the desk there. There was no room for chairs. And yeah, he would sit down just as we're sitting down right now. There would be a computer screen right there, and I'd say, okay, look at this. I want you to build me one of these. So one of the first things we built was a lead capture page. I didn't know what a domain name was. I didn't know what hosting was. I'd heard of this thing called WordPress, but I didn't know how they all fit together, or how do you coordinate these things? How do you stick them all together? And I couldn't work it out. So he did that in front of me, and most of what he was doing made no sense to me. I would just watch and think, wow, you know, I've got no idea what you're doing right now, but I'm watching. And slowly, I would start to try things myself, okay? And he would correct me. Sometimes he'd go back home, and that night I would completely mess up all of his work, and I'd completely destroy what he'd done, and the next day he'd have to fix it all. But slowly I started to learn basic technical skills. Now, to do well in this business, here's the big danger. I don't want you to go down the path of thinking, oh, I need to learn how to build websites. I need to learn how to do coding. I need to learn how to do PHP coding or learn HTML, because you don't. You just don't. And if you do that, you're going to learn the wrong thing. What you want to learn and get good at is marketing and sales. That's what's going to bring in money into your business, not building websites. You want to have enough technical knowledge where you're vaguely aware of what's happening and where things fit together, and you know when maybe someone's ripping you off, okay, as well. It's good to have basic knowledge, but you don't want to get so absorbed into it that you're trying to learn how to code and things like that. We're not in the business of building websites here. We're in the business of getting customers, okay, and building a website does not get you customers. Going and placing ad, okay, actually doing traffic, that gets you a customer. Picking up the phone and calling someone who you know might be interested in this, that's going to get you a customer. Those are the things that you want to focus on. So that's what I would recommend for you. Do you have a local university close by?
There is one about an hour away.
Okay,
Yes.
well, you might do that. Okay, you might go and place an ad at the university, or even someone studying computer science
Yes.
or computers at high school in the more advanced years, and just write a good ad. In the ad, just say, here's what I'm doing. I'm looking to build my first, I want to get a website, or I want someone to sit down with me and explain how to do basic, like WordPress, something like that. WordPress is good to know. That's a good thing to learn first. I will pay you this much money. Please call me if you're interested. You might just pay them cash, and then just have them come and sit down with you for a few hours. See if you feel comfortable with that person. If you don't, get someone else. But that's how I did it. And then my second piece of advice is, most of these things you just learn through experience. The reason why I'm here today, and I've done pretty well in this niche compared to a lot of people who started when I did and haven't really done a lot, the only reason why I'm where I am and they're where they are is because I was willing to make a lot more mistakes than everyone else. That's it. I've made so many mistakes over the past 7 years that it's ridiculous. I mean, I'm talking big mistakes that have cost me a lot of money. So these days I just go and do something, I make the mistakes, and then I learn from it. Most people are so afraid of actually taking action because they don't have all the answers yet. So they think, I've got to go and get all the answers, and then I will take action. And in the entrepreneur's world, that is the death of your business, okay? You're not going to build a business with that mindset. The mindset has to be, I'm just going to fail forward. I'm going to go and make the mistakes, and I will learn from the mistakes as I go. Entrepreneurs, we're essentially making this up as we go along when we build businesses. We really are. Okay, we're taking action. We're trying lots and lots of different things. We're seeing what works, what doesn't. Most of the things we try don't work, but we find the few things that do work, and then we re-put our focus back on those things. Okay, so does that somewhat help?
Oh, that's extremely helpful, Matt. Those are some great tips. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Okay, well, that's a great question. So if you have a question you'd like me to answer, go to askmattlloyd.com, and up in the menu you'll be able to put in your name and your question, and I'll be more than happy to make a video like this for you. Speak soon.